Well, guys, we are pulling up to our load right now, and we are in the new DLC Arizona map. Well, we're not in it yet. We are in the what's the word I'm looking for? We are in the we're still in California, but we will be going to Arizona. And we're picking up this diesel, 42,000 pounds with the diesel, with the advanced coupling system that they have. So that said, let me show you where to go, just in case if you don't know where to go. You go into gameplay, that's not what I wanted. You go to gameplay, and it will be in advanced trailer coupling. You want to click that. Now, of course, I saw this recently. This looks new, so that's interesting. But also was interesting is automatic blinker turn off. So back in the day, they didn't have they didn't have automatic canceling turn signals. So they didn't have when you turn your steering wheel a certain degree or at a certain degree, it self cancels when it goes back. So you had to manually take it off. So if you're going into truck driving, or you're reading a manual or you're looking on YouTube and you see that they're talking about when you're making a right or a left turn, when you get to your lane, cancel your turn signal. That's what it means. It means you yourself have to then flip it up if you're making a left, or flip it down if you're making a right. So that's a concept. So it doesn't do it itself in a way. So that's something else that you guys could turn off or turn on if you choose to. Everything else is pretty much stays the same in that aspect. So we're gonna show you what this does, and we just, like I said, we just coupled to it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out and we're gonna go over here and look at the legs of the trailer. So it goes up. So that's what you're gonna have to wait for. And then when you do it, the handle goes down, and so does the legs. So now, for you to pick it up, you have to pretty close get it to where it's supposed to be. It will automatically couple it, but this is where the problem comes in. You can't just take off and go, because if you take off and go, you will damage your trailer, and I will show you now. In this case, it actually stalled my truck because the landing gear is still touching the ground. So you just saw I got 2% damage on my load because I did not raise the landing gear. So you may think, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, this is what it has to do with. If you have those mods in the game where you don't have that square, you're not gonna know that you're hooked up unless, of course, until this pops up. Um, but if you even have this disabled, which you can in the options, it is an option, you can disable this whole thing. The only downside is it doesn't tell you when you have to go into a scale. So then you have a risk and reward. You either take it off, you don't have this, and have it realistic as hell, and then have to guess on going into a scale house or pay the money for a scale house each and every time to make sure, or you keep it on. But anyways, that's beside the point. Um, that's with that. I'm sorry if it's noisy, but it's a beautiful day and the birds are singing. Anyways, so as you can see, you can damage your trailer if you're not being careful. So then of course you just hit T, it raises it, and then there you go. You're off to wherever you want to go. So this is where we're going. I'm gonna show you guys because you really have to be careful on where you're going, and this is where I'm saying Well, not be careful where you're going. You have to be careful on. You have to know your destination because you're gonna have. Something tells me you're gonna have multiple roads crossing each other, going on top of each other. So you're gonna have to read the road signs. You can't be going down the highway at 75, 65, 55 miles an hour, come to a road sign, and then go, okay, well, fuck, where am I going now? And then either get off at a wrong exit or go check, not pay attention, crash into something, or miss your exit altogether. So once again, this is where you have to be careful. So we're going to connect to sunshine crop. So we're going to connect Arizona. That is where we're going. And we will. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So we are now going to be going there. So we're going to, of course, do that. Turn off our parking brake. Um, that is actually well, yeah. So both of them do pull in now. That's interesting. Hmm. So that's interesting. So when you couple your trailer brake pops out. That is interesting. So that is pretty cool. Anyway, so let's get going. Let's get going here, boys and girls. Let's get going. So remember, we got 42,000 pounds worth of diesel. So we really have to be careful here on these corners and these turns. I'm gonna tell you this now, though. My first attempt on recording, didn't go as well. I got to Flagstaff, Arizona, and it crashed. So now I have to determine on what's causing the crash. And I'm gonna try this again. If it crashes again, um, that just shows me that that means there is a mod conflicting with this, um, with the game, and I have to figure out what it is, and I won't be able to do a video fully until I figure out what's causing that, um, that conflict to to break the game. Um, but if it does not, and I'm allowed to go all the way to where my destination is, then that is something that I have to, of course, then that means it is the developer's part, that's wrong, not on my end. So that's just let you guys know. So I don't know, to me, as much as I would like to talk to you guys, um, but I really don't want to talk and then waste all this time for nothing. But then I already know is if I don't talk and everything works out well, then I pretty much just did a run for nothing. And don't get me wrong, I tried it many different ways. I tried it many different ways, but it just seems when I enter it, that's when it goes. So I really gotta I really gotta be careful on you know on it. Um, so that's why I gotta determine it. I gotta determine it. And sadly, I really want to get this video out for you guys, so you guys have it and see it for all you guys that are not in the better stages. Um, you know, and all that. So it's really something. But anyway, so that's the advanced coupling, guys. So you really have to be careful in a sense of backing your trailer in. Now, they like I said, it is an option, and the reason why they did it for an option is because of the newbies. They're afraid that the newbies will be Europe. I don't have an air horn. How did I? I have no hair. I have no horn at all. Anyways, oh really, you're a dick. Anyway, so it is. So to me, as a newbie, I would say put it on. Um, yeah, of course, it's gonna get used. It's gonna take time to get used to. Everything takes time to get used to it. But here it is. Once you get used to it, you're gonna be doing it so much, it's gonna come second nature to you. You're gonna be doing it so much that you're gonna forget until somebody points it out to you in in the comments or something. You'd be like, oh yeah, I was doing it that way. So that's something that you gotta that that's gonna be learned and traded. So just keep that in mind. Um, but that's just me. I say do it. Why the hell not? Why not? Truck stalled. But like I said, that's just that's just me. That's just me. So it's like I said, it's really up to you. But anyway, so it is that option. So that's awesome. That is really awesome. So, like I said, we have a lot to talk about, and we have a very short distance to go. So, with that being said, let's start talking. So, like I said, this DLC came out. Awesome. And then we also have the new GTX 1080 4 GB graphics card that just came out. And I don't know everything, but I do know this. I am not going to get one until they start coming out with aftermarket ones. Now, what I mean by that is like MSI or products where I can change it. Now, I've been looking. I go straight, don't I? Yes. I have been looking. What is he hauling? Bulldozer. I have been looking, and it seems and notices that the yes, you have the major one with just one fan. That is great, awesome. But I have noticed though is either if you get a water cooled GPU or have two big 120 meter fans on them, um, you will get better clock. Now, you're not going to see much of a difference in the base clock, but you will see a more of a difference between the two in the overclocking capabilities. Um, the I think if you have it water cooled, the I think it's like an extra 200 um, gigahertz on overclocking. Actually, I'm gonna go if my truck does not stall, but it did. Um, you know, my bad. You can go. I guess I should move up. Keep stalling, and I don't know why. Why does it keep stalling? Because I'm in 5. That's baloney. But anyway, so that's the I forgot what I was saying. Oh shit. Anyway, so that's the GPU. So the I say normal, because that's just what I say. Um, is gonna come with one fan, and that base clock is like think it's like 1832, something like that. Um, and then of course, if you when you overclock it, you then have the um, then it goes up to like 20 or something. Um, and then if you have the fan, then you have the option of not the option, but then it's the same. Like I said, it's the same base clock, but what changes is the core clock. So instead of it going up by 200, it only goes up by 100. So that's something else um that's got to be looked at. Cut out in front of me like that. You're asking for a death wish. Anyway, you you're not really gaining um you're not really gaining much overclocking capabilities if you decide to go for the water cooled. And of course the water cooled is going to be more expensive. Now what I have been seeing is that the two fans is actually going to go $50 less than what Nevada is selling it for. Nevada is selling the GTX 1080 for $700, $699. But but Ava, Ava, Evie, Ava, or yeah, I'll just say it. I'll just spell it. EVGA is selling it for $649. Now, of course, you can get it on Amazon, Best Buy, and all that goody goody good stuff, but that's where they're selling it. So in reality, it's like, should you spend the money um on a water cooled, more money on the water cooled when um when you can spend less and only miss 100 megahertz. Now, to some people, they might be like, you know what? I really need those 100 megahertz. Some people may not. Some people may say, well, it's only a 100 megahertz. It's really not going to make a difference. Some people are like that. Some people aren't. So that's where you have to decide on where it's going to be most financial and better suited for you. Is will it be better for you to spend more money? Now, of course, water cooled, you do have, your the temperature is higher, or will not be higher, but the threshold will be higher because it's water cooled. And second, you will be running it a little cooler than the fans. Now, we all saw what they did, the benchmark that they did. It was at a 67 degree Celsius, which a lot of you say it's hot, and I do agree. I think 67 degrees Celsius is hot. But what we don't know is we don't know if it was in a controlled room. We don't know if it was water cooled. We don't know if it was out in the open, in the air. We don't know if it was under load. We don't know any of that. It didn't show us that. It just showed the temperature, the core clock, and the frames per second. That was it. That's all literally they showed us. So that is something that, we all gotta think about, when it comes to purchasing this new GTX, 1080. That's really what we have to think about. And, so to me, 100 megahertz really is not gonna matter to me. So to me getting an MSI 1080 GTX 1080 GPU and me only losing 100 megahertz to me is better than me spending the more money um than um you know than me spending more for the water cooled just for me to get the pretty much the same capabilities. You don't It doesn't change the capabilities of it. So that's something else that did that way too soon. So that's something else that you guys gotta think about. Now, of course, if it doesn't if it doesn't change a lot, and who that was close. If it doesn't change a lot, um, then that's a different story. Then and not change a lot. If the prices are the same or pretty much the same, then I'll say, you know what, hey, I will do it. I will, I will buy it. Um, but if there is a difference, I'm not, because to me there is no point on the reason why. Um, you know, like I said, if it's like $50 difference, okay, I'll get the water cooled. Because it does help. But if it's 150, 200, $100 is a little fishy for me. I don't know. I can go either way. But it's like 150, $200 difference. Then I'm just gonna go with the two fans. That's just what I will do. So it is what it is. But like I said, it all depends on you and what you like and you know what you want to happen. Um, it does the regular 1086 uh Founders Edition just comes with a um 6 pin power. But I have noticed that if you get the was it 55? Yeah, it's 55 here. So I gotta. So if you get the two fans, it's actually turns out to be an 8 pin power supply. So a lot of people say that 6 pin this they're assuming that there's going to be a problem with overclocking capabilities and all that goody goody good stuff. So um so to me, I don't let's see how this that's how this chicken coop goes. Alright, so it's pretty much the same. They haven't changed anything with the chicken coop. So that's interesting. But it's still 15 miles an hour, so that is what we gotta do. Cause knowing our luck, there would be a cop on the highway, and we would be screwed. So, anyways, so that, like I said, it's really up to you. I may get it, but Amazon is selling it for a ridiculous price. Amazon is selling the 1080 um for over $1,000, and I don't see any difference. They still have the same interface. They still have the back plating. There is no real difference. So to me, is why would I spend $1,000 when I can go to their web to the to their to Jesus fucking Christ, to Nevada's website and pick it up for $699. You know what I'm saying? Um, or wait for the water cooled systems to come out, and the two, three, fans on the system to come out, to either spend the same amount of money, or I'm actually speeding, or less. So that is something for 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 you to determine, and that's something for me to determine, is to wait. Now, of course, I'm not going to spend $1,000. If I do get it, it's either going to be the $699 or get it for the $649. Either way, that's what's going to happen. But we'll see. Of course, like I said, we'll see on what comes out, what third parties have what, and then of course, the more that comes out, the more information people are going to provide. The more information, the better we're going to be, and better informed I will be. So that's always good also. So, but it is what it is. So anyways, that's the good news. And that is what has coming out today. Um so that's always a plus. That is awesome with that train up there. Not a very long train though. Oh, and it's 75 miles an hour. So, you know, so that's what's going on with that. Welcome to Arizona, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Arizona, where they love you. So, but that's what's going on. But like I said, so we'll see. We'll see. Now, at the same time, I will put this out there. People that have graphics cards, more or less what I've been seeing is 1070s and 1080s. I haven't even seen Titan, but 1070s, 1080s, and 1080s Ti, or I, is the fact of this. Is that they're trying to sell their graphics card more than number one, a 1080. Like if you're selling your 970, why would you sell it above the why would you sell it above the 980? And the same concept, why would you sell your 970 or 980 more than the 1080 when the 1080 looks and seems like it can do more than what the 1070 can and what the 1080 can? They're saying that the two 980s Ti is still not good enough to one 1080. So why would you want to sell your 970, 980, or anything lower? Well, if you do anything lower than that, you're just stupid for selling it more than $700. When somebody can go take that money, take that $700 and buy a 1080. Why would they want to buy a used, probably overclocked a lot, probably has hours on it? Why would they want to do that? Spend that money when they can just take that money and go get a 1080. I just don't see the point of it. I don't. I mean, yes, of course, you want the money for the 1080, but I'm telling you, you're not gonna get $800 for a 980 or for a 970. You're just not. And I mean, unless of course you get somebody that's suckered. Okay, that's a different story. Go ahead, be my guest. But but well, we're gonna find out if it crashes, because this is, well, no, this is not our exit, but our next exit. But here's the thing. So unless you can get like a newbie to spend that money, okay. But if that person is smart and they know what they're doing and they do their research, they're gonna find out that a 980 or a 970 goes around $350 to $400. So still, why would somebody spend $750 or 700? I saw one for 1,000. Makes no sense. But spend that money when they can either get a 1080 or just get a 970 or 980 for $350 to $400. I just don't see. I just don't comprehend that. That issue. I just can't comprehend that in my brain on why. I just can't. See now, I was supposed to have gone to Grand Canyon, but I would get off here. I would stick to the left, go over the bridge, and I will get into Flagstaff, and then it will crash. And I just don't understand why. No, I felt it. I forgot I got a little longer trailer. And doing 75 miles an hour on these kind of curves is not the best. But anyway, so that's the issue. That's where you really have to come into play and decide and think, you know, is it worth it? Now, of course, everybody that's new, you guys know that it's not worth it when you can just take that money and go to a 1080. But like I said, just everybody, just like, everybody's like, really? Turn off the wipers. There you go. Come on, come on. Thank you, Lord. So like I said, and so unless you can sell it to somebody that's new and doesn't know what it is or how much it actually does cost, I don't see the point. Um, why you gonna be selling it for? Really? We're gonna do this? Oh, because it's in 5. Might help if I actually start my truck again, right? Really? Come on. I don't know why I did that. Thank you. Oh. I just want to see, like, okay. So at least it gives you a little bit more time. I want to see what this train looks like. At least they have added an air horn to the train, but nothing else. They haven't added it any bigger, which kind of sucks. But oh my god, I was gonna say really. But anyway, so it really just depends on on you. Let me turn off my turn signal here. Um, but anyways, like I said, so unless you can just you know give it to Unless you can sell it to somebody that's new and doesn't know what they're doing, I don't see you getting what you're asking for. Now, like I said, of course, everybody wants 1080. Everybody does. But you're going to be trying to sell that card for a very, very, very long time. Because no one's going to be willing to pay that kind of money. And that's just what I think. And that's just me. Um, everybody has their different opinions and stuff, and that's what I think. Um, but yeah, so anyways, that's what's with the GTX 1080. Um, if you guys have it, put in the description or in the comments, you know, what you like about it, what you think about it, you know, all that goody goody good stuff, and then and tell me your thoughts because I really like to hear them. Especially if you are um especially or and pictures. I like to see pictures of your megahertz, what your base clock is, what your if you are overclocking, what your overclocking is, what your temps are, underload, not underload. I would like to see that. And then what kind, of course, what kind you have. Um, I would really love to to see that. That does not look like a gas. Actually, it is, but I'm gonna miss it because I really do need gas. Alright. I don't know why I turn off my wipers. Alright. What is going on now? That's why, because I was in high. Alright. Let's see if we can do this again. I keep forgetting that I'm in not in the gear I want to be in. Alright, so let's fill up with gas. Engine off. Let's fill up with gas here. With diesel. My bad. Keep forgetting diesel. Diesel, 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 diesel. Diesel. And since we are here, we are gonna reset our trip. 468 bucks. Keep forgetting parking brake, parking brake. Alright. There you go. Alright, let's continue. Let's continue to where we want to go. Alright, so anyway, so that's with the graphics cards. Like I said, with this, with ATS, Arizona beta is out, and then of course you have like I said, the advanced coupling. So we have another city, more cities. We have a state, more cities. We have more roads to look at and to watch and drive through, so that's good. Um, Everything else looks the same. It looks like they haven't changed or they haven't added any new loads. So that's pretty interesting. The scale, the chicken coops are the same. So it's really interesting on what they are on what they're doing. So it's really interesting. But yeah, so there you go, guys. This is, like I said, this is Arizona. I hope you are enjoying it. I am enjoying it. As long as this game doesn't crash again, I will be enjoying it. Um, it's really is lovely. I would love to see the Grand Canyon. But unfortunately, like I said, it just keeps crashing, and it's literally driving me up a wall. Literally driving me up a wall, and I just can't stand it. I can't. Let's shift into seventh here. How much time do we have? We still got 2 hours to go. Jesus Christ. Let's see. I guess we should rest. And that's probably what well, it's only 2 hours. I don't know. I really like to end it, but it's only 2 hours left. But I don't know. What we got now? Hour and 42. Let's see if we can do a little speeding. It doesn't seem like there's much cops out on this road. I really like these billboards and just how they have, how they have the setting. These are awesome settings. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Alright. But anyway, so if you guys have any questions on the DLC, or of course, any questions on the, of course, if you have any questions on the GPU, the new one, or anything like that, then, hey, come hit me up. You know, I am here for you guys. Comment below. Let's see where. Okay, we're supposed to make it right. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we would have made it. Oh, now we're dropping down to dropping down to 25. Really interesting. Alright. So it has not crashed. So which means either one or two things. Either number one, I have fixed the issue, or second, it is with uh with the developers. So, all right, 4 ways. No, 4 ways. Mm, really? Come on. All right. Interesting yard though, but I don't know where they want it. They want it over there. All right. That's where they want it. That's where they will get it. Which this looks like a pretty... Yes, yes, I know I'm getting tired. Shut up. Of course. Alright, actually what I should do is do this. That's not what I wanted the other way. Trying to get it kind of even. You know what I'm saying? It's not as that bad. It's not as bad as it seems. As long as you can get it pretty much straight, it's a one-shot deal. Alright, so let's get out. Not bad, not bad. Of course, we're dozing. That is what we do. Alright, and then let's hit T. And there goes the landing gear. So that is awesome. So of course we got some damage. I know that. It's supposed to be okay, so it's not that bad. So we got 17,432. Not bad, guys. Driven distance was 694 miles. Time taken was 15 hours, almost 16 hours, and we consumed 156 gallons of gas. So there you go, guys. There is the DLC Arizona. Like I said, we're in the beta. So there you go, guys. Until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.